Sometimes it takes the last words of a stranger to finally wake up. I used to think I had everything. Until one day, someone's last words gave me true life. I didn't know her. I wasn't supposed to be there. But fate, or maybe something bigger, made sure I was. And from that moment on, nothing in my life was ever the same. My name is Sarah. I'm a doctor. A good one. Chief of my department, respected by everyone. People say I'm tough, demanding. But being a doctor is a very important and difficult profession. I've always believed that hard work and control were the keys to a good life. I'm 34 now. Single. Successful. Financially independent. Every year, I treat myself to a luxury trip on my birthday. A reward for surviving another year of 14-hour shifts and hospital corridors. This year was supposed to be the same. But something felt off. I had the brochure in my car. A fancy travel package. Mountains. Snow. Silence. Cold and wild. Beautiful. But distant. Just like me. Something about that image bothered me. Deep down, something felt wrong. I wasn't excited. I kept delaying the planning. And I didn't know why. Then, that morning, I was driving to work. Alone, as always. Thinking about nothing and everything at once. I glanced at the brochure again. And just as I looked back at the road, a car flashed by, inches from mine. I slammed the brakes. Heart racing. Breath caught in my chest. And then, silence again. That same heavy silence I couldn't explain. It was supposed to be a slow day. A national holiday. The hospital was quiet, almost empty. I was covering a colleague's shift, just for the day. No big deal. I sat at my desk, sipping coffee, checking files. Everything under control. Then, life happened. Emergency incoming. Elderly female. Car ACC ident. I stood up instantly. My mind shifted into protocol mode. Vitals. Trauma. Stabilization. That's what I do. That's who I am. But when they brought her in, an old woman, hit in a violent crash, along with her chauffeur, something shook me. I felt something. My hands froze. My breath caught. I didn't know why. But later that day, I found out. It was the same car. The one that nearly hit me that morning. Coincidence? No. It felt bigger. She was 74. Conscious. A few cuts. Nothing major. Her driver was shaken but fine. I handled the routine procedures. Stabilized her. Pain medication. Fluids. Monitoring. We had space. We had time. So I stayed with her. Everything was under control. But something inside me wasn't. Her name was Margaret. The moment I walked into the room, she grabbed my hand. Her grip was soft, but firm. She looked at me and smiled, genuinely, despite the pain.
Could you stay with me, just until my kids get here?
Her voice was calm, kind. She reminded me of my mother. I nodded without thinking. Margaret talked. A lot. But not in a tiring way, rather, in the way people do when they're full of life. She was light. Warmth. Even with a needle in her arm and bruises on her face. To distract her from the pain, I started answering her questions. Yes, I worked a lot. No, I wasn't married. Yes, I liked traveling. And she shared her story too, without me even asking. She married young, had 5 kids, lost her husband at 38, raised them alone with what he left behind.
I've lived so much. I've cried so much. But nothing brought me more joy than seeing my children smile.
She spoke as if every memory was a blessing. One son lived in the capital now. All of them were successful. She seemed proud. But not in a bragging way. She was simply fulfilled. Hours passed. We laughed. Talked. She even dozed off a little. Everything seemed under control. But then, she started shaking. Fever. Her vitals dropped. Her skin turned pale. I ran the tests again. It was an infection, fast and aggressive. Her body couldn't fight it. The medication wasn't helping. I did everything I could. But nothing worked. Her sons were still on the road. And I was the only one there. She looked at me. Held my hand again, tighter this time. Her breathing was heavy. But her face, it was peaceful. It's time, she whispered. Finally, I'm going to the real life. I froze. She wasn't afraid. She wasn't panicking. She was ready. And I didn't understand why. Her calmness was overwhelming. Then she looked me straight in the eyes. And her voice became stronger. Go live. Life is not about prestige or comfort or money or success. The richest woman is not the one who controls everything, but the one who gives life. I thought about opening my mouth to speak, but she kept going.
Truly, truly I say to you, unless a grain of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains alone. But if it dies, it bears much fruit.
My chest tightened. I didn't know what to say. Her voice was calm. But her words hit something deep. I had no idea what that meant, not really. But something inside me moved. Then she looked straight into my eyes. You don't see it yet, but you're trapped, she said. Trapped in control. Trapped in the fear of giving yourself away. You try to survive with comfort and pride, but you're not really alive. You've seen the world, but you haven't seen your own soul. You wear this tough mask. But it's just fear. You survive. But you don't live. Then she smiled, one last time. Don't just survive for yourself. Live in a way that your life becomes a gift to someone else. Go. Open yourself to others. Love. Trust. Take risks.
And just like that, she took her final breath. Her last words.
I couldn't stop hearing her voice. Days passed. Then weeks. But her words echoed, louder than any noise around me. I tried to move on. I took my vacation as planned. Traveled for my birthday. I thought a new view would clear my head. But it didn't. The emptiness only grew. She had seen something in me. Something I had never dared to face. Like she had read a chapter of my soul that I hadn't opened myself. I remember staring out the hotel window, and all I could feel was emptiness.
That was when I found you, Isabel.
I started therapy to just talk it out. But it became so much more. You helped me see I was carrying something that didn't belong just to me, but to my past. I opened up for the first time. I told you about my mother. How she was abandoned by my father. How she always said,
"Don't trust anyone, make your own money. Never depend on a man."
So I did. I worked. I studied. I got promoted fast. And I never let anyone in. Relationships? Always short. Work was my only safe place. And yet, behind the success, I was alone. I had built a fortress around my heart. You showed me something I had never dared to say out loud. I was afraid of people. I was afraid of love. Afraid of giving up control. Afraid of being seen, truly seen. Afraid of being wounded like my mother had been. But love, real love, and real life are unpredictable. They don't come with guarantees or backup plans. They ask for surrender, a willingness to sacrifice ourselves for others. Behind the title, behind the strong doctor, there was a woman terrified of being loved. And life, real life, only starts when we choose to take that risk. Life is like that. To love someone is to step into the unknown, to accept their flaws, and let them accept yours. We complete each other. We walk side by side. Until heaven. And that's what I started learning with my husband. The true meaning of marriage. It was in that silent emptiness after Margaret's passing, the space between fear and surrender, that Matthew appeared. Since the first moment I saw him, he was kind, patient, and real. At first, I didn't know what to do with someone like him. He listened. He waited. And slowly, you, Isabel, helped me to let the walls come down. It wasn't fast. It wasn't perfect. But it was real. I shared my fears. He didn't run. He stayed. Today, our baby is 4 months old. And every morning, I wake up to her smile. And to a life I never thought I'd live. One day, I found that old brochure again. The cold, distant mountains I once thought I needed. That place. That reflection of my frozen heart. Now, I threw it away. And every day, I choose something warmer. Cozy. Bright. Full of laughter. And life. And when I look at Matthew, and at our baby, I remember Margaret. I didn't get it at first, but she was right. I used to think I had everything. But only now I truly do. Today, I am the happiest woman in the world, and I want to be for my family what Margaret was for hers. She showed me that you can be strong, successful, respected, and still be soft, joyful, and deeply loved. She proved that it's possible to be a great mother and still live a life of purpose, if you are open to reality and to whatever life places in your path. Margaret embraced what happened. She accepted the loss of her husband. And then, she gave herself to her children and to everyone around her. She became light for everyone she met. Her children and I stayed close. Together, we opened a center for single mothers. So they wouldn't have to suffer like my mother did. So they would know they are not alone, and that not all men are bad. That they can still love, be loved, and build a future. And we also help fathers, so they understand the honor and the gift it is to be a dad. Margaret is gone. But her life didn't end. She was the grain of wheat that fell to the ground. And now, her story bears fruit. In her final breath, her last words taught me how to live, and gave me true life.
Thank you, Sarah. I'm so proud that you found meaning in your suffering. Sometimes it takes a complete stranger to show us what we've been hiding from ourselves all along. Margaret passed. But through a life of service and self-sacrifice, she lived fully, and she taught you how to live. And you, watching this now, what would you have done? Would you change your life because of someone you just met? Do you believe that a stranger can see you more clearly than your closest friends? Have you ever ignored the emptiness inside you until it became unbearable? Are you living? Or just surviving? Do you believe in the power of someone's last words to reveal who they truly are? This was the story of one of my patients at the end of her treatment. Her name was changed, and the details were adapted with her permission. I will keep posting these stories from my psychological consultory to help you learn English and reflect on life, because I believe these are not just stories. They are stories that heal, teach, and transform. And your story matters too. If you want, share it in the comments, and I will do my best to answer you with my therapeutic insights. If you enjoyed this, share this video with that friend who might need to hear this story. Please like, subscribe, activate the notifications bell, and I'll see you in the next story.